Hello Bat fans, welcome back to 2-Day Rentals. Today we are taking a look at the Spinmasters Batcave playset that was released just this year, 2022, to coincide with the new film. The new movie's out as of recording this. I have yet to see it and I'm dying to go. Just gotta find the right time to. But here at 2-Day Rentals, I am a sucker for playsets. I absolutely love them. I wish I had a few more in my collection, and I really wish that I still had all my playsets when I was younger, but man, I know I've mentioned this before, I am just rough on toys. When I was younger, that was no exception. I used to make home movies with all my playsets, take them apart, combine this part of this playset with this one over here, and sadly, once they're put through the ringer, they're just kind of done with. As soon as I saw this playset available and they were going to be doing a Batcave playset for this movie, I was all in. So we're going to talk a little bit about it. It's not going to be like a full-blown review. I'm not going to do an unboxing. I'm just going to hit up some highlights of this particular playset and why I think it's so cool. And I'll make some comparisons to the 1989 Toy Biz Batcave playset, which I also had. And that one's like one of my most favorite little playsets of all time. So, without wasting any more time, let's jump right in and take a look at this thing, shall we? Now, one of the things that I really liked initially about this playset, the box shows you everything that you need to see. It is lacking some cool, maybe artwork on the front, like a lot of the old playsets used to have, but I do kind of like the fact that it's showing you all its cards here. It's like, is this for you? Because it should be, because it's awesome. Look at all the glorious things you have in here. So I did like that, and I ordered this thing. I don't know. I haven't seen it in stores anywhere, and I'm not sure who all's carrying it. I actually got mine from GameStop, and it shipped within a day, and it came in a huge box. I mean, the box itself is pretty gigantic, but there's a lot to unpack here. And so, since I didn't do an unboxing, I'm just going to cut to some video of the playset all up and ready to go and talk about some things that I really, really like about it. The very first thing I want to point out is that Batman's workbench is here and really in all its glory. It's got great detail. I mean, you see that the mold has his little tools in there that he's using to build all of his really neat gear. And like I said, I haven't seen this movie, but from what I've read, and I've tried to avoid a ton just so I can go in really fresh, this is sort of Batman's, not necessarily origins, but him figuring stuff out, him sort of getting like his head wrapped around the fact that, hey, I'm gonna need to fight crime, but I'm gonna need all this gear. I'm assuming that's kind of from what I've read. And the fact that it has this workbench with a cowl that's removable, that you can actually place on Batman itself, is just awesome. The body armor also has a place where you can set it up. It's got some gauntlets that hold some batarangs, and the workbench has got some various other things on it, and I just think that it's super duper cool. It kind of reminds me of I think it was Batman Returns. There was a Bruce Wayne that transformed into Batman, and it came like him like Bruce Wayne, like turtleneck status, and then you had all the bat gear you put on him. And with figures like this, it's just, it's always going to look a bit maybe bulky and kind of quirky, but it's the payoff you get for having the ability to have a Bruce Wayne figure and a Batman figure. This one doesn't go that far. You don't get Bruce Wayne just in a nice Versace suit and with some, alligator loafers looking all dapper. I don't know if he may wear that. Maybe in the new movie he's all sorts of decked out in different attire. You don't get him in that way. You get, what I like about it is you get Batman without the cowl, and his face exposed, and it's pretty neat that figure is in there. And it's actually the only place you can get that Spinmasters figures in this playset, with Batman without his mask on. And that was honestly one of the big selling points for me, is one, that this figure, well, the playset came with figures to begin with. How many times whenever we were younger did a playset say, figures not included, sold separately? Nah, fam. This has exclusive figures, it says, but I really think that the Penguin's the same Penguin figure from the initial release of just the individual sets. And but I do know that, like I said, the Batman without the cowl, that's the only place you can get it. So that was an immediate draw for me. Some of the other noteworthy things I thought was this sort of wrapping staircase that goes around the whole play set. It looks great. It's sculpted great. It's got some great detail on the paint, on the bricks. It's just really, really neat. And it fits together with this whole Batcave sort of Bruce Wayne Manor theme. And something else that really jumped out at me was the fact that there was a place to sort of put either the motorcycle that comes with it or the Batmobile, which I've previously talked about in one of my other videos. Go check it out. And there's a place for that to kind of be parked. Now, once you get it unpacked and you look at it, you notice that the Batmobile doesn't really fit on that table extremely well, but it's good enough and it's effective enough to where it looks like it could work, right? And, and maybe it's supposed to be that way. Maybe it's lifted so he can get under there and work on it. I mean, Batman, after all, Bruce Wayne, after all, man, he's got to build all this stuff himself. He's got to come up with it, so he's in there getting his hands dirty building all these things. So maybe there's a reason for it, or maybe it was only intended for the motorcycle that came with it. And, I don't know. But the fact that it's there is neat enough. And I just think that this whole play set is just really something special, just because something about it just harkens back to something that came out in the 90s or early aughts, and I was just a sucker from the get-go. As I had mentioned, there is a penguin figure that comes with this play set, and it's the exact same penguin figure that is sold separately. You do get some neat accessories with this figure. He gets an umbrella that has like a knife or a sword that comes out of it, or maybe it's just a way to assemble the umbrella. I'm not really sure, but he's also got his briefcase full of money, very mafioso kind of gangster. And in my scenario that I painted here, it's like he's trying to bribe Batman. It's like, I'll give you this much money for all this technology, or I'll pay to let me do my thing, sort of thing. And so in my little scenario here, Batman's not having any of it. He puts on the cowl, he gets geared up, he makes his way up the stairs, he kicks some penguin ass. Do penguins have asses? They have to, right? Yeah, anyway. Kicks some penguin's ass, and then he's out of there in his Batmobile because the bat signal just got fired up. The Riddler's doing something up to no good, so Gotham needs Batman to take care of other business. I don't know. I mean, look, that's the beauty of toys, man. You can do whatever you want, and especially with play sets. They're so very customizable. And speaking of do anything you want with play sets, I always like to see, well, how would this work with figures that I already have, right? How would this play with some other figures at a different scale? And actually, it does pretty good. If you take the Toy Biz figures from '89 and put them in here with the Batmobile and everything, it actually works really well. I mean, they may be a little big, but it's not too bad. Now, something like, I grabbed, I think it's Chapel from Spawn. He was a little too large. But what I will say was neat is I have these really awesome Dark Souls figures that are almost the same scale as the Spinmasters figures. And I just had a ton of fun reliving some Dark Souls lore with my Black Knight and Solaire figures, as you are seeing here now. And so I can't wait to see what other kind of combinations of other play sets and this one I can come up with to make all sorts of things happen, because the scale, like I said, is pretty versatile on this one. So that's a bonus in my opinion. And how does this compare to the '89 Toy Biz Batcave? Look, I think the '89 Batcave definitely takes the clear shot winner, but that doesn't mean that this one's not awesome. I think that what I would have liked to seen with this one was maybe another piece that had that sort of rocky looking exterior. Now maybe that doesn't play into the movie. Maybe that idea of a cave kind of thing. I mean, it says cave on the box, so I'm assuming it does. Maybe that's not part of the aesthetic. Maybe that would be really out of place. I don't know. But it would have been neat to sort of have maybe an exterior shell that looked like sort of some Gothic architecture or sort of rock or something like that. That would have been cool, but that's really splitting atoms at this point. For the price point on this, I want to say this was like $20. It wasn't expensive for everything that you get. It was really worth the price point, in my opinion. And I don't know how common these things are. Like I said, I have not seen them out in the stores anywhere. It could be that they're waiting for the movie to be released, like hype level to the max, which it already was, and then they're going to start putting some more of the stuff on the shelves. I don't know. I found mine at GameStop. They had them in stock. As of recording this video, I double checked one more time, and they still do have these in stock. Look, for the exclusive figure, the motorcycle, the fact that you don't have to buy a Penguin figure if you haven't already, and the scale and size of this, and the fact that you have Batman's workbench with all that cool stuff on there, it's a must buy, it's a must own. If you're into Batman and if you're into playsets like I am, this one is one of the cooler ones that I've seen in some time, and it's gonna go really well with some of the other stuff I have here, and I can't wait to utilize it in more ways than just as a Batcave, right? So, what do you think of this playset? Do you care at all about playsets? I know I do, so get ready to hear a lot more about them. But yeah, I mean, if you've seen the movie, does this aesthetically match up with what they've done in the movie? Everything that I've seen thus far with all these figures that they've come out with, it looks like it matches up fairly well. It's not like it was in the 90s where there were huge deviations from the toy line from the movie. You know, not always, but there definitely was some times where they went way off the beaten path, and this seems to stay pretty true to form. But I would love to hear from you regardless, and I would really, really appreciate it if you took the time to subscribe. If you like what you're seeing here, hit the notification button. That way you get the updates as to when I post new things here on this channel, because I'm always looking at new content to create, things that I love that I want to share with you. Hopefully you love them too, but if you don't, I always want to know about the things that you're passionate about, so maybe I can discover something brand new for myself. So, be kind as you rewind and fast forward through time, and thank you for stopping down here at 2 Day Rentals.